Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. West Ham 2, Arsenal 5. Very interesting and very weird game at the same time. Arsenal managed to get off a quick start, score quite a few goals. You would think it's kind of a repeat of what happened last year when we blitzed them 6-0, but somehow Arsenal managed to slip in focus for a few seconds and they concede 2. One was arguably not even a foul, the second goal from a free kick that Emerson scored. Quite beautiful free kick, I'm not gonna lie, but ultimately you could argue that that wasn't even a foul to be a free kick to begin with. The first goal, which Wan-Bissaka scored, that is a big issue in my opinion again, because it comes from the left side and Wan-Bissaka is not being marked even by Calafiori, he's being marked by Leandro Trossard, which already spells trouble for the future if that is the case. But ultimately Arsenal managed to get upper hand quite quickly, put the game to bed by half-time. Second half was just a hit and miss, Arsenal wasting chances, West Ham wasting chances, and ultimately, compared to the first half, it was absolute shambles. But overall, yeah, Saka fantastic, Odegaard also quite decent and everything. We're gonna get into that in a split second to talk about this a bit overall. But ultimately, if you're new around here, of course, don't forget to smash thumbs up. Don't forget to like it, subscribe, hit that bell, get live interactive in the chat. And if you have a comment you want to discuss, talk about and all that stuff, leave it down in comments below because I answer to every single comment. But we're kicking things off with the fact that Arsenal won 5-2. One half of football, rest of the football was pretty much, well, quite shambolic to say the least. Genuinely quite shambolic to say the least. Big up Nathan in the chat. Nathan's not happy with the performance despite the 5-2 win. Big up coach. Big up my guy. What's the word? We can officially say Saka is world class. Saka have taken both pens and had a brace. I guess that is what... BX, you have him in your FPL, right? That's why you're saying this. Otherwise, yeah, oh, sorry. Oh, technical issues, sorry. I assume he's in your FPL, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't say these things. Because I think he gave it to Odegaard just to get him rolling on some level. I think he gave it to our captain just to give him that instance. But Saka, genuinely, you could start putting him in arguments about world class. The more performances we see from him, like this one specifically, where he takes on 3-4 defenders and he gets brought down into the box, then definitely that could be the case. That definitely could be the case. And the more he has of these things, the more louder he will be talked about world-class category. Obviously, people say that you need some merit behind it to start these talks about world-class players. And I kind of tend to agree with that, but at the same time, Harry Kane has no trophies and he's a world-class striker, so it also kind of puts together with the output. But I think for Saka, I think he needs something to his name as well just to get it over the line. Haaland is stinking your FPL. To be honest, I wouldn't put too much money on Haaland as well at Anfield because he tends to stink out at Anfield at first place, and the way City are playing at the moment, oh bloody hell, you are in for a long one. What more you want from Saka? Dude, what I want from Saka is for him to turn up in the big games and get us over the line to win trophies. Because for me, this will sound very controversial maybe to some people, maybe negative and toxic for some people. But for me per se, it's all good and great when you can do this against West Ham, when you can do this against Leicester City, Luton, and some other teams. But for me, you need to do this on consistent basis on the biggest stage against the biggest teams to get you over the line to win something. I think that also is a measurement because, yes, you can say you maybe put Kane as an exception to this argument, but otherwise most of the players who you tend to call world class have output, consistent output year in year out, which Bukayo Saka has. Let's be real. He performs on the biggest stages, which Bukayo Saka still is hit and miss. And then he has trophies behind his name, and Bukayo Saka still doesn't have those. So if you count it by all three, Saka is like 1.5. If he wins Premier League or Champions League, then 100%. There's no argument about that. But for me, he needs some more outputs in the big games, like against Aston Villa when we lost 2-0, against Bayern Munich away, against Porto and teams like that. When team is struggling and you need that one player who has that moment of magic, who gets you over the line despite everything, like Alexis Sanchez or Aubameyang, players like that we used to have. Yeah, he just isn't there yet, or he just hasn't unlocked that mentally, maybe. In this regard, obviously. Arsenal can still win the league. Don't say it's West Ham, because last year we won against West Ham 6-0 away in the second part of the season. It's hit and miss in that regard. Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard, world class. No, they are in a good form. They are in a very good form. Yes, we are on a 3-game run where we have scored 13 goals and conceded 3 in the last 3 games, which is great. Next stop is United, which definitely will show what is what. Obviously, I know United are still struggling. They're trying to figure out things with the new manager and everything. It will be very interesting how we look against them at Emirates. But yeah, for me, if we want to have this conversation about that we can win the league, we have to assume in this instance at the moment that Liverpool are not going to drop points till January transfer window. If we want to be in that window, we need to win every single game till January transfer window, and then we can talk. Injury made as well, yeah. But that's, again, that cannot be used as an excuse when things at the end of the season don't work out. Because that has been an excuse all the time. We have had numerous windows to find replacements and backups for Saka, for Odegaard, Saliba, Gabriel, most of the players, and we haven't done it. So if we get injuries once again, or something happens and we again use injuries as an excuse, that is just irrelevant at that stage. Wan-Bissaka was the best player on the pitch, not a dominant performance. Wan-Bissaka is very good in 1v1 situations. Very hard to get by. He's like a 1v1 demon in a way. Going forwards, he lacks, you can tell that. Otherwise, he's very, very good. And that's what arguably made him great at Crystal Palace as well, because Crystal Palace wasn't the greatest teams. They were defending quite a bit, and 1v1 Wan-Bissaka was quite fantastic. In United, he had to go forward quite a bit, and he just didn't excel at that, so it was what it was. But for me, with Wan-Bissaka, the way they scored the first goal, the biggest issue is that he was marked by Leandro Trossard. Calafiori was nowhere in that regard. He wasn't being marked by Calafiori, he was being marked by Leandro Trossard. That for me was the biggest issue. That for me was the biggest issue when we conceded the first goal. Genuinely. Anthony Taylor got bored with us how good we started and decided to let fouls go. That is the thing. There is an argument, quite strong one, to be made that the foul for the free kick, which Emerson scored for the second goal, wasn't even a foul. There were times when Arsenal players got just smashed into legs and it was a no foul. Like, it feels like he kind of tried to turn the tides of the game so it's not another 6-7 nothing like it was last year. Kind of felt that way a bit, but obviously I'm not using refs as an excuse or anything. We won 5-2, we got it job done despite referee decisions, and that is all what we can ask at the end of the day. We have to play game what's in front of us, and we need to decide the game before the ref either decides to do some funny business or despite the ref doing those things. And all that. I don't have those. For me, I don't have those. I have 300. I don't have 1,000. I think it begins with 1,000 subscribers. I don't have that. Nowhere near. If you're talking about my channel. Not making an excuse, I do get Jesus. Dude, Gabriel Jesus, you know how Brazilians are Joga Bonito known and everything. Gabriel Jesus is Joga Finito. He is finito. Get him out in January, make him learn Arabic in these next 4 weeks before January transfer window and ship him out. He is Joga Finito at Arsenal. Sterling, dude, if he scored that free kick, it would have been something definitely different, but it is what it is, I guess. The team, no depth, but we should just... is all what's wrong with it. We don't have depth in the team in general, but we should just sign. We shouldn't sign also only young players. We should sign some experienced, good backups as well. But we haven't even done that. We have signed mediocre players who are mid-table level at best, and we genuinely just put him on high wages. And since it's a new signing, the fan base eat it up and everything without looking any further. Because in compilations on YouTube and everything, everyone looks like they're prime Ronaldinho or prime R9 or prime Cruyff or Maradona or Riquelme or Paulista or Eusebio or stuff like that. Because Edin Nketiah in compilations looks like prime R9, but when he plays in game, he looks worse than, I don't know, Park Chu-young and stuff like that. Trossard is at fault. Yeah, he just didn't control it. Sterling was woeful. The minimum you can do is... Well, Sterling wasn't great, but he had his he tried. He had his moments, but tries at least where he tried to do something, but it just didn't work out. Genuinely didn't work out. Jesus was forcing a goal and we were 5-2 up. He's like, that is the thing. Jesus has one or the two. He either holds on to the ball too much and it screws up our attack, or he forces the ball too much, which again screws him up and screws our attack. And he needs to get out of that mindset. And I think it's a bit too late because November is coming, January is coming up. And that should not be the case. Don't say that Mikael's listening. He's gonna sign old crap players, dude. If he signs someone like Kim Kallstrom again, I will be hella fuming. I'm not gonna lie. But ultimately, we need some improvements in the team. We need depth. We need improvements massively. And nobody can deny that. Nobody can deny that. I already was a bit worried when, obviously, Gabriel got subbed off due to all these precautions of what's it's gonna called, the head thing. Of freaking hell, my brain's gone. I know this in my language. I know this in 4 other languages. How it's concussion, due to concussion precautions and everything. Freaking hell, that took me a while. But he got subbed off because of that. Then Calafiori comes off for Zinchenko, and I thought, well, this is gonna be cool. Kivior and Zinchenko on the left side against Bowen, but nothing too much came out of it, luckily for us. Luckily for us, nothing too much came out of that. So we kind of... The second half, it was a big mess. Generally, second half was a massive, massive mess. In general, it was a massive mess. So it is what it is. So, generally, if you watch just the first half, and then you just turned off the TV and didn't watch second half, you wouldn't have missed anything. The second half was total mess. You could see the players switched off from 3-4-0. Yeah, instantly. And in away games, that is... Dude, that's the thing. We did this against West Ham. And that was... It saved us because it's just only West Ham. Now imagine if we're 4-3 nothing up and it's at Anfield, for example. For example, it's at Anfield. Like, that would genuinely be the death of us. Because Liverpool at Anfield, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different animal. And let's just say we go to Anfield, we are 3-0 up by 35th minute, and then we score the 4th with some low-key switch off, and it's 4-2 by half-time, for example. The second half, Arsenal 100% is gonna park the bus, sit back, and inevitably it will be 4-4. If that would be the case. We cannot afford, we barely can afford to fall asleep in games against teams like West Ham and stuff like that. Especially at this stage where the margin for error, given that we are trying to go for the title, pretty much is one loss and we are done for. At this stage, at least the way we're looking at this, it's gonna be hell on earth. It's gonna be hell on earth for sure. Jesus wouldn't get in most teams. Evan Nilsson is getting in front of Jesus. Jesus, generally at Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus is Joga Finito. Get him out of the club. He's finished. Genuinely, he is finished. Well, I speak my native Latvian. I speak Russian, German, a bit of Spanish. I speak English, obviously. I speak a bit of Italian. And I know some, well, phrases and words also, technically, in Dutch and in Portuguese as well. Like, fully I can speak and communicate in 5 languages and then a bit in 3-4 more. We can exactly. We're gonna do this, don't worry. I have it prepared, we're gonna do this today 100%. First 30 minutes was good. Good performance. After that, we did what we usually do. We score 2-3 quick goals, then we decide to sit back and see what happens. And Arteta addressed this as well against Sporting Lisbon. We scored 2-3 goals, and instantly he said he needs to get his team out of this mindset that they sit back. We just need to go and kill off the game. Because technically, if you look at this, it would be if West Ham doesn't score, you take away 2 goals from West Ham, 2 away from Arsenal, it's 3-0 at halftime, game is done. But since they managed to score, it's a bit different story because then the emotions kick in, the home fans and everything. It's a bit different story. If it was 3-0 at halftime and we went into second half, it would be completely different. But since they managed to score, they managed to rally up the fans, and they managed to get some sense of belief that they actually can do something, it's a completely different story in that regard. It's small things like that actually that sometimes decide everything. The set piece innovative goals are really, to be honest, that is the case. That is a big case, because last year we scored about what from the 90 goals, about nearly 15-16% of our goals were from set pieces alone. I think nearly 20% were from set pieces, and if we don't have those, we don't even score those 90 goals we do usually. Well, not usually, last year. So this year it is a bit of a struggle. It is a bit of a struggle again. It is what it is. We have to take full advantage of set pieces, I would assume. Wish you could get us one-on-ones. I will try that. I haven't figured out StreamYard yet, which for me is a big issue. Because I'm trying to figure StreamYard out. I don't stream from StreamYard, and whenever I have asked few people to guide me through a bit from StreamYard, how to do things, how to set certain things up, I have been totally blank. Nobody has answered, nobody has tried to answer my message and help. Well, I won't say I'm an old man, but there are certain things other people are more accustomed to using than me. I have never streamed from StreamYard, ever in my life. So I'm streaming from other platforms and other software, so it's a bit different. And everyone takes a learning curve. That is for me the case. We have no midfield. We expect Jorginho to play again in 3 days. Yeah, Partey is injured, Merino, yeah, and everything. We have a bit of an issue in that regard, genuinely. Rice has been average for many games now. Like Rice in the beginning of the season was a bit winded, you could see that. Then he kind of got some form. He played like 2-3 decent games, and then he broke his toe, and again it's genuinely quite rough for him once again. Sorry, my camera just died. Once again. Plus like coach is saying, Rice is playing in the wrong position. It's very interesting that Rice today didn't play as a 6, which was very weird. But today we played Jorginho there. It wasn't the worst, to be honest, but also, let's be real, it wasn't the greatest, to say the least. But ultimately, Arsenal 5-2. We managed to win the game. Big up Marlon, your defense is in trouble, man. Yeah, big advocate for Odegaard and Saka. 5-2 win. First half, might as well not watch the second half, I'm not gonna lie, because that was a shambles to watch. West Ham had a chance to score 1 or 2 as well in the second half, didn't they? We had a chance to score a few more as well. So, didn't miss much. The injuries is the biggest issue. What's gonna happen with Gabriel? What's gonna happen with Calafiori? Because he's showing that there might be some groin issues and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see what's the update on those instances. But ultimately, it also came to a point where I was very frustrated with Mikel that he didn't sub off Saka and Odegaard, because West Ham players were kicking us all around the field and no fouls, no nothing, or some occasions fouls. Odegaard rolled his ankle once again, Saka got done from behind, pause, and all that stuff. So it is a bit scary at the moment, knowing the injury history, at least the recent from on certain players, and that they go down so easily in the same spot, in the same injured areas. It's a bit scary at the moment, because we know what's gonna happen if they are out again for some extended period of time. That is also a big issue for me. On positive news, Vieira scored, weak foot. I didn't know Patrick Vieira is playing. I thought he was the manager of what's its face on Genoa. I think it was Genoa, Cagliari or something like that. I didn't know he was playing, coach. I thought he was just coaching. Partey should play. He has the pass. Partey doesn't have the legs to play the 8, because if you play 8, you have to run up and down the pitch. He already struggles running as a 6 half the time. So playing as an 8, I don't think he could actually do that on consistent basis. Plus with the injuries, everything, it's nuts. Bino Gitten's goal, against Bayern Munich today was phenomenal, I'm not gonna lie. There were some links today as well for Arsenal with Bino Gittens, but apparently Borussia Dortmund would ask about 100 million for him, so I'm not sure that's ever gonna happen in that regard. But overall, Arsenal 5-2. First half goal scoring performance, second half pretty much dead in that regard. Shots on, we had 7 shots on target and 5 goals. That's hell of a finishing, I'm not gonna lie. Possession still very convincing, 1 passing, accuracy, fouls. Very dominant performance in general, and Arsenal currently are sitting second in the table, which is actually quite nice to see. Now obviously Liverpool have game in hand, so does City, Chelsea. Who else can overtake us? Only those 3. And tomorrow, Aston Villa play against Chelsea, by the way. And Aston Villa play against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which will be a very interesting game. At the same time, United play against Everton, which will be very interesting to see what happens with Amorim against Sean Dyche. And then, of course, Spurs play against Fulham, which again, definitely Spurs won't have an easy game. Fulham are a very tough team. And of course, the Sunday delight. Liverpool versus Man City at Anfield. Arne Slot versus Pep Guardiola. And let's see what's gonna come from that. Because that game is... quite a bit is riding on that game for Arsenal and for Liverpool. And for all the 3 teams, to be honest. Because if it's a draw or City wins... it's good for Arsenal because we have decreased the gap to, obviously, to Liverpool. If Liverpool wins, it's bad news for City, and arguably for Arsenal as well, because if they can get past City with ease, it means that, let's be real, Liverpool have gone past quite big talents. RB Leipzig, Bayer Leverkusen, Real Madrid. They have destroyed quite a few teams, and they drew against us at Emirates. So we can all say Liverpool, many of our fans are saying Liverpool haven't played anyone big, yet at the same time, they have played most of the big teams in Europe and in Premier League, quite a few of them. And they have come on top most of the times. So there are very few instances where they could drop points if it comes to that. However, Konate is out for Liverpool from 5 to 6 weeks, which is in that regard not so good news for Liverpool. I don't know who's going to play. Gomez, Kanash, who's going to play in their centre-back partnership with Van Dijk. But that definitely is something big that Liverpool are gonna lose at the moment. They're gonna lose Konate for until the end of the year, basically. It's a worry that we are not... yeah, that is the thing. But you can say we are ruthless enough. We scored 4 goals, but the fact is that we conceded 2 quick goals on a bounce, pretty much. That is the big worry, that the fact that our focus was so quickly gone that we lucky that we didn't lose the plot overall. It's good that Arsenal maybe have that mentality that they can actually maybe salvage the game, but it's West Ham. If it was against City, against Liverpool, against even in Champions League, for example, against your Bayern Munich's or Real Madrid's, Atletico Madrid and teams like that, who as soon as they sense even a tiny bit of blood, they are just gonna eat you alive, that one fly, this 4-0 quickly up will quickly turn into 4-4. The fact that it was against West Ham was kind of opportunistic for Arsenal, because West Ham, as good as they actually have a decent team, they're very underachieving with that team at the end of the day. But we got lucky that it was West Ham, not someone very big and strong side, which has very dangerous attack in that regard. I think in that instance we got very, very lucky. Haaland show. He ghosts against Liverpool at Anfield most of the time. Van Dijk knows how to control him. Probably has talked about with Saliba and Gabriel over that as well. I just hope both teams lose. To be honest, only way they both can lose if it's a draw. But even then, for City, the way they are playing right now, a draw at Anfield is a win pretty much. The way they're playing right now. For Liverpool, you could make an argument that anything besides a win is a loss, given the current state of this City team, that they haven't won 5 games in a row. They let this game pretty much is a loss because they were 3-0 up and they just drew it 3-3 against goddamn Feyenoord at home, by the way. Not a big team or anything, and it wasn't even away. So it is a bit of an interesting one in that regard when you look at these things. Very, very interesting one. City win, do you see the odds? Did you see? Yeah, I saw it. It's not great for City. Let's just put it that way. Lob gonna get sacked. Lopetegui, most likely after today's performance, there's a big chance he actually might get the sack. Now, this Chelsea-Aston Villa game is very interesting because if Villa win, they are on the same points as Chelsea with 22, but they are just 3 points behind us, which is not great. However, if Chelsea win, they are well, Chelsea need to win 3-0 first of all to get above us. But overall, Chelsea could get an overtake us if they win like 3-0, 4-0, something like that. But ultimately, the fact that Brighton are still up there is a big testament to them. I'm not gonna lie. Nottingham Forest, it is what it is. Brentford won today, right? Brentford didn't lose today. They won. I think they won against Bournemouth, didn't they? Sorry, against Leicester. Yeah, 3. Newcastle drew against Palace, which is massive for Premier League in general. And apparently Issa got injured as well. Something like that. Well, Feyenoord are a big team, but compared to City, let's be real. In that regard, from money-wise and everything, it's not that great. But we will have to wait and see. But you wanted to do player ratings. Let's do it. Let's see. Been telling you about calm down. Genuinely, it's not a big team. We need to see him at a big team and win something to want him at Arsenal. Because I'm tired of trying Arsenal being linked with managers that have barely won anything or pretty much nothing, and then they make it out like it's the best signing in the world. And for Arsenal, like a big club at Arsenal, it just doesn't fly. It genuinely just shouldn't fly in that regard. No manager who hasn't won anything shouldn't manage at a big club, in my opinion. Yes, you can take chance on someone, but ultimately it shouldn't, because you never see Real Madrid hire assistant from Man City, or Barcelona hiring, I don't know, someone from Cadiz or stuff like that, genuinely. So it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah, I guess let's do some player ratings. Let's see what we can do. Let's start off with David Raya. Player ratings, David Raya. Some ball distribution could have been better, but one of his long kicks out of the goal led to Arsenal scoring a goal, so I have to take that in mind. Conceded 2 goals, which is not great, let's be real. The first goal he conceded more on Trossard than anything. Second one, the free kick off the bar, perfectly aimed. Could have been better. Maybe positioning could have been a bit better, but at the same time, it was perfectly aimed. If it was even half an inch higher, it would have bounced out into the open play. If it was half an inch lower, most likely Raya would have gotten it. So the thing is, he hit it perfectly. And ironically enough, that since it went in from the bar, it doesn't even count as a shot on target. That's ironic how football works, but it is what it is. So David Raya, for me, I'm gonna give him a 6.5. I think 6.5 is a fair result. Would have gotten a 7.5, maybe, if he saved that free kick. Would have gotten definitely an 8 if we kept a clean sheet. Let's just put it that way. So nearly half a point for every goal conceded, and the fact that there were some 50-50 moments there still makes me a bit uneasy that sometimes when we kind of are passing the ball around, he's not even near his box. He's somewhere playing like a 6 defender or something like that. It still kind of weirds me out on times, even though I watched Neuer play football like that his whole career. So it's weird, I'm not gonna lie. But ultimately, I'm gonna give him a 6.5. Moving on to Jurrien Timber. Oh. Bless me. Jurrien Timber. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that much. Yeah, David Raya's ball catching ability is very good. It feels like he has glue in his gloves. He never lets almost any shot slip out of his hands. Whether it's raining or it's what, it always kind of feels like it sticks like glue to his hands. He never leaves his hands after a shot or a deflection or intercepting a cross or anything. It's very weird. Most goalkeepers just parry them. Most of them just parry them. Jurrien Timber. Jurrien Timber was decent today, I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't it as insane as he was, for example, against Sporting Lisbon and game even before that. But ultimately, it's his 3rd game in a week, so kind of have to take with many players that into account, especially coming back from ACL, and as you can tell, he's still struggling for fitness a bit at times. So Timber overall, what he did today, he had some passes, he tried an attack, cross, Defensively was somewhat decent, I'm not gonna lie. Put Somerville on a yellow card as well. Bullied Somerville most of the time. I'm gonna give him a 7. Timber was somewhat average, maybe a bit above average, but if we start from an average rating of a 6, then I'm gonna give him a 7 for today's performance. Moving on to the left, Riccardo Calafiori, and this is the big one. Because last game against Sporting Lisbon, for me, he got the lowest rating from the starting 11. Because despite everyone getting 7 to 8s, 9s, and 10s, he got genuinely a 6.5. So for today, he was, at times when we were going forward, he was higher up the pitch than Trossard even when we were pushing forward. He was trying his best but still got done over. He got subbed off with a potential knock or injury to his groin. It also depends to be seen. Zinchenko came on for him. The thing is, one of the biggest issues with him for me is the fact that the way we conceded the first goal, he wasn't near that goal. Leandro Trossard was covering Wan-Bissaka. That is the one. He was covering Wan-Bissaka. And that for me cannot fly. Calafiori was at fault because we conceded the only goal against Sporting Lisbon. And today again he felt he was out of position numerous times, and also including that when we basically conceded the first goal, which kind of made a bit of a rally for West Ham. So I'm gonna give Calafiori a 5. 5? Yeah, I'm gonna give Calafiori a 5. Not a big fan still of him at the moment. You could say it's a new league, he needs to adjust, it's been injuries, he cannot get proper rhythm and everything, but that whole left side for Arsenal is absolutely insanely unbalanced, and it's in shambles at the moment, still to this day. 5 years trying to improve the left side, spent about 150 million on left backs alone, left eights including like about 100 million nearly on left wing as well, and we still are in this position where our whole left side is very, very unbalanced. And it's one of the biggest catalysts to the fact why we are struggling as much as we are at times. So for me, I'm giving Calafiori a 5. Just play Tierney. He's not. Tierney at the moment, it feels like he's gonna be on the bench purely for vibes. He's gonna be on the bench for vibes just to show that he is there. And in January, most likely, he will gonna try and be shipped off to somewhere. Genuinely to somewhere. Number 6. Jorginho. On the pitch now. Oh no, center back. Saliba. Saliba. Not number 6. We're gonna talk about Saliba first. Decent Saliba performance over the day. Some passes, some tackles, some tracking and everything. Nothing special, just a bang average Saliba performance which we are quite accustomed to. So Saliba for me gets a 7. For me, Saliba gets a 7. Coach seems to agree. He also gives Saliba a 7. 6.5 miscommunication on Fabio. Yeah, true. Could be the case. Yeah, you could say that 6.5. I'm between 6.5 and 7, but I'm gonna give 7 because, well, yeah, it's an average Saliba performance. You didn't expect anything much less from him on average on daily basis. Number 6, our center back, Gabriel Magalhaes. Big Gabi. Second goal in a row. Has scored his second goal. He has scored, 6 somewhat goals. He is the monster. He, at the moment, could make an argument he is better than Saliba at defense. He is more contributing for us than defensively. Saliba is more Rolls Royce. Galiba, what am I even saying? Gabriel is doing more of the dirty work at times. He scores even goals going forward. I'm gonna give him an 8. I'm gonna give Gabriel an 8. Shame he had to come off with the potential injury again, and the concussion. Fabianski just KOing in the head. So it will be interesting to see, does he have a concussion? Will he be able to play and everything? Yeah. Galiba. Yeah. I'm talking about Saliba and Gabriel, and I'm just calling him Galiba. Yeah. It sounds very bad, Galiba. Dude, that, yeah, I don't know. My mind is gone, I'm not gonna lie. Galiba. Center back partnership of Galiba. Anyways, let's swiftly move on and let's forget that. Jorginho in the number 6. Partey obviously injured, so I assume it was last minute chance for him to step in. Partey was injured. Rice also didn't play in 6, so Merino also is a bit of an iffy one. Jorginho didn't do anything out of order. He was decent, he did his thing, he did everything decently, he did he didn't kind of excel at anything special. He was tackling, he was defending, he was passing the ball, things you would expect for him. But he didn't do anything out of order that something would genuinely ruin us and something that massively would help us. But he's been very consistent. If you look over the time how Jorginho has played at Arsenal since he signed for us, well, 2 years ago now, to be honest, he's been very consistent, genuinely consistent. Most consistent performer at Arsenal over the longest extended period of time. The thing is also the expectations from him aren't that high as well, let's just put it that way. But he kind of, at worst, he lives up to the expectations, which is like bang average 6-7 out of performance. Anything above that is a bonus for Arsenal and for Arsenal fans overall. So I'm giving him a 7 for today. Let him do his thing, stepped in when needed the most, arguably. And hopefully he does good going forward as well. He just doesn't get injured. Because our whole midfield is subjective to injuries at the moment as well. And it looks like coach and Nathan agrees, both giving him a 7. Well, he's just a better Elneny, yeah. He's better Elneny. He basically does things that says it on the tin, what's asked for him, plus he can pass the ball compared to Elneny. So I guess it is what it is. Elneny was a bit quicker, though, have to admit that. Moving on to Declan Rice. Declan Couscous again today in the game. Although he had some good moments where he carried the ball a bit knowing forward. He was carrying the ball, he was trying to distribute the ball. But overall, again, it feels like he hasn't recovered from something, either mentally or physically. He again had somewhat questionable performance, if you ask me. Could have been better, could have been much worse, but nothing exceptional. And it's been like that the whole season pretty much. He has had 1 or 2 outstanding games where you could give him an 8 or a 9. But overall, throughout the whole season, he's been like he was today. Average. And that is something you wouldn't expect from 105 million signing. Although, look at how Mbappe is playing at Real Madrid, you wouldn't say that. I would say I'm giving Declan Rice a 6. I'm giving Declan Rice a 6. Could have been worse, but could have been much better as well. Jorginho knows his weaknesses and has adapted his game, just physically a little lacking, but exactly, I give Levi, exactly. That's how he is, and same goes for Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey's biggest weakness, besides injuries, right, is his pace. And as long as you don't make him run, he's quite exceptional in that regard, if you come think of it. Yeah, I know Mbappe was free, but at first when they wanted to sign him, and if you look at retrospective, they actually signed him for 105 or whatever they were asked, 110 or whatever million they were asking, right? The way he's playing at the moment at Madrid, it's even worse. And you think if Mbappe is free when he sits on about $1 billion a week, pretty much, it's not free, genuinely, it's not free. Might as well sign him and pay him a bit less. Mbappe wages definitely are not free. Plus, if he signs on free, there's an extra signing on fee, there's extra agent fees, signing bonus and all that crap. Everything you wouldn't use per se when you sign a player which will play to the club directly. Quite a bit goes to the player in that regard, or agents, or in add-ons if you achieve certain goals and everything. In that regard. Wages are not free. We pay, nearly 300 grand to Havertz. Let that sink in. Anyways, Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard for today. Brilliant pass to Saka to set up Trossard for the first goal. Let's put it that way. What else? He had a few good moments. He was dictating the game. He was running. I saw something from Odegaard today I hadn't seen, I think, ever from Odegaard. He out-muscled an opposing player on shoulder-to-shoulder tackle. He outmuscled someone. For the first time, he hasn't fallen to the ground and asked for a foul or something. He actually did that today. That was something unique. It was something like when 3 seasons ago I saw Granit Xhaka outpace another midfielder. That was something that blew my mind. And today I had the same thing with Martin Odegaard outmuscling someone on the ball. That was something you don't see every day, like shoulder per shoulder and everything. So I would give Odegaard gets an 8. See, Nathan gives him 8.5. Coach gives him 7. I'm giving him an 8. Something in between. I'm giving Odegaard an 8. Nathan says if I'll upgrade 7.5. I'm giving him an 8. I'm giving Odegaard an 8. Leandro Trossard, the Kung Fu Panda with somewhat, well, grey hair. Leandro Trossard scored a goal. Yeah, I'm stopping there. Although Trossard had his moments, overall it feels like he again was, I would say average, but definitely left more to be desired. And that for me leaves that question, what would happen if Martinelli would have started this game? And I get why he started Trossard, because he's more technical on the ball and he could cause more trouble for Bissaka. Because Martinelli doesn't have the technical ability, 1v1 against Wan-Bissaka, Martinelli definitely would get outclassed and he would get absolutely ridiculed in these player ratings at the moment. Because that's how Martinelli plays and that's how good in these situations Wan-Bissaka is 1v1. And since we play Trossard, who is a bit more technical, yes, he lacks pace, but it's a bit more technical, more nifty on the ball, I kind of get why he did it. He scored a tap-in, okay, cool. But otherwise, again, it was another somewhat a bit lost performance. I don't know whether it's the fact that he doesn't play consistently, or he still thinks about Saudi move, which were offered to him in September, or what. But again, he felt lost a bit. And it's not the first time he has felt lost. Yes, he got a goal, cool, but overall, it's very weird with Leandro Trossard. He cannot hit it right. When he just came in at Arsenal a year and a half ago, he was fantastic. Well, 2 years ago. He was fantastic. He scored, assisted, everything when we just signed him from Brighton. Next season, again, he comes off the bench, he scores goals. This year, due to injuries and some issues, he's been asked to play in about 6 different positions, and he hasn't had a chance to hold one position down and be his own. And I think that is kind of messing up maybe with his rhythm, maybe with his output and the mindset, and he somehow feels that he is lost a bit. Like, it feels that way. Now, that is the case. Trossard technically is better than half of our team. More technically than Martinelli and players like that. So, in that instance, he's quite good, and that's why he played against today against West Ham with Wan-Bissaka, because Martinelli would have been eaten alive by Wan-Bissaka, let's be real. But overall, yeah, I'm giving him a 6.5. I'm giving him a 6.5. Better not give new contract. Like, he's getting a new contract. Didn't you hear the rumors that he's getting a new contract with significant pay increase? Significant pay increase. Significant. What do you mean? No, I'm giving him a 6.5. That's fair. He scored a goal, did some things, but overall was quite invisible. Like, nothing special. The 2v1, 6.4 is fair. Okay. Donkey. Yo. 29. Kai Havertz up top. Scored a good 1v1. That was great pass by Trossard. Over the top, defender totally fluffed the clearance. The ball bounced, picked up some speed, and he whiffed the ball. 1v1, nearly lost the ball, by the way. He took that touch to settle it down, nearly took away from him there. But ultimately, he scored a goal, which is great. Again, besides then, some good space invasion like he usually does, like an alien. And otherwise, It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. He actually got an away goal, which is great. He provides us with some gap openings. Pause. And he makes some decent runs. Is the fact that sometimes our playmakers, quote unquote, like Odegaard, Saka, and everyone just doesn't recognize it. They just are too afraid to give the pass, or Arteta has instructed to not give the pass. Because there are some times when he makes these runs still, where Odegaard, Jorginho, Saka, Trossard could kind of try and loft him the ball and to get him on the finishing touch from a header or a half volley or something like that, and we just don't do it. And I kind of figure out whether it's just the players are afraid or it's just instruction by Arteta to play by his rules, and not give some risky passes or what. But sometimes it feels that way. But ultimately, he scored a goal. It was 1v1, quite crucial goal to be honest, and I'm giving him a 7. I'm giving Trossard a 7. Havertz. I'm giving the donkey a 7. He scored a goal. He had some good, decent situations, some good ball distribution. Still, that's the thing. He's not the overall best striker. He still needs a more, and he's lacking movement. That's for me some, well, not per se movement, but the passing. He's lacking the passing from other teammates to him when he makes certain moves. You could see, if you just watch Havertz for some times when we have the ball in the final third, you can see that he's making a run between the gaps or something, and our players just either ignore it and turn the back against him or just don't give the ball. That for me is a bit weird. We don't need gap openings, we need a killer like Gyökeres. He played shit against us but was impressed by the way he looks that shoots at all times. Well, the thing with Gyökeres is he's how to put this? He's very direct. And to play in Arsenal's attack, at least in this way we play, you either have to be basically a lamppost, like Giroud for example, or you have to be with some finesse and with some tech there. And Gyökeres is something in between. He has some tech and some finesse, but not enough. Plus he's like a lamppost, but as well he's not enough. So he's something in between, and I'm not sure if that would work. So I don't know how that would go. Yes, Nathan says Gyökeres has 0 finesse. We should have 7-0 through. We were cooking them. We could have been easily up. The lack of concentration and mentality to sit back kind of ruined us. He wants to score. Can Martinelli play at 9? Well, no, he can't, because Arteta won't play him ever there. If we still had Emery, Martinelli would have been out-and-out striker by now, 100%. He was already coaching Martinelli to be a number 9 before he got sacked. So it's a weird one in that regard. But yeah. And of course, Bukayo Saka, the man of the hour. Bukayo Saka. He is, for me, man of the match for today's performance. Man of the match performance. I'm giving him a 9. He is the man. He got us penalty, he scored penalty himself, he got an assist I think it was, and Bukayo Saka gets a 9 for me. At the moment he is on 10 assists, I think it is in Premier League, with about 13 games played. He is on the course to beat Thierry Henry's assist record. Just think about that. In one season, by the way. He is on the course on beating that. That would be something, wouldn't it? But yeah, for me, he gets a 9. He got a penalty and gave it to Martin Odegaard as well. I think that also was also a gesture in the terms of helping him to kind of get back since that injury he had, to get back on scoring sheet, because as soon as he scored that penalty, Odegaard got some extra energy, it felt like. He started shooting from outside the box on occasion. He tried some different tactics, different passes here or there. I think he needed something like that to lift up his spirits. Just like last year we did with Havertz, when it was against Brentford, if I'm not mistaken, and he scored that penalty, something like that. The only striker I think is worth the money is Duran if Villa play ball. I don't think Villa will play ball. That's the thing. They have Duran, they have Watkins, and that's about it. So they're definitely not gonna. Maybe Osimhen, maybe. Coach gives him a 10. Nathan gives a 9. I'm with Nathan here. I'm giving him a 9. Saka too good. Saka too good, bro. Best player since Henry. A bit loud claims there. Not gonna lie, a bit too loud at the moment. My goat, midfield maestro, the god, dude. I can lose anyone. Please keep Saka and double his wages. No. Doubling his wages arguably could be the worst thing that has ever happened, given the situation. He already is a centerpiece at Arsenal. Who's better than Saka? Define your better than Saka statement. Saka has 18 GA in 18 games, yes. He has the output, definitely. He has 10 assists as well in 13 games, so that is quite fantastic. Anyways, substitutions. Gabriel Jesus. We're gonna get to Arteta, don't worry, Nathan, don't worry. We are talking about Gabriel Jesus. What we saying? Gabriel Jesus. I'm giving Jesus we're gonna give it. I know you want Arteta ratings. We're gonna go through substitutions and then we're gonna give it to Mikel Arteta as well. Better than Saint Henry, I would say Sanchez, yes. I would say arguably RVP, you could say. Something, that maybe Aubameyang, depending how you look at it, wing or number or striker, depends. Anyways, Gabriel Jesus, Joga Finito, woohoo, samba, caramba, back to Araba. Anyways, Gabriel Jesus for me gets a 3 today. Joga Finito, Gabriel Finito gets a 3. Nathan, coach gives a 1. Dude, who was saying about 10 minutes ago that Nathan is not having it? Where was it? Who was it? Where is it? I think, yeah, coach said that Nathan wasn't having it on one of the ratings. Now he's giving him 1. Definitely no. If we lose Saka, this team is finished. Dude, if we lose more than anyone, we are finished. We cannot afford any injuries to the starting 11 in general. Respect Shamak, dude. Don't even. Being honest, nah, I'm giving Jesus a 3. Jakub Kivior came on for Gabriel at halftime due to concussion issues and all that stuff. I am giving Kivior well, what did he do actually second half? Jakub Kivior. Kiwi was medium ready today. Wasn't ready and wasn't too raw as well. I'm giving him 5. I'm giving him a 5. Could give him a 4, but given the situation, I'm gonna give him a 5. Coach is giving 5. Oh, the Saka's best giver was cooking Jared Bowen. Dude. 5. Everyone's giving 5. Okay, cool. The politician, number 17, the guy who snitched Arteta's tactics with sniffing out opponents and everything, who is swapping wives with Ben White and that stuff. Alexander Zinchenko, left back, came on for injured Calafiori. Well, didn't do much. He actually did better than I expected against Jared Bowen. That is something I will tell now. I expected to him do worse than he did against Jared Bowen. Nathan is giving a 5. Coach is giving a 3. Holy crap, he's not fan of the politician whatsoever. Coach with the agendas. You of all people, speaking of when you are with your Gasperini agendas more than anyone in this world for Arsenal, yeah? I see you, don't you worry, I see you. I'm giving Zinchenko a 5. Nothing special, nothing bad, nothing worse. Raheem Sterling. Raheem the Dream Sterling. What we saying? He tried. That's a bad start already. Well, he tried. He had a dangerous free kick. And he got a free kick. He had a dangerous free kick. He tried to shooting with his left from inside the box and hit side netting. Well, it's safe. I'm gonna give him a 5 as well. I'm gonna give Sterling a 5. Coach says 5, Nathan says 4. And the last one, Ethan Vanieri. Ethan Vanieri. Not gonna lie, nothing like he did nothing. I'm gonna give him a standard 5 solely because he didn't have enough time. Genuinely, he didn't have enough time. Yeah, exactly. Can't rate Vanjeri, and if you base basically by standard coming on, I'm gonna give him a 5. Because 5, I think, or 6, no, 6 is the base rating when you come on the pitch without any minutes played. That's the standard rating, and you basically, depending on that, you kind of gain or lose rating depending how you do on the pitch. I'm gonna give him a 5. What it is what it is. Anyways, it's the time you've all been asking for. It's for Tapas Pulis, Mikel Paella, Cone Man, Waffles, Waffleman Settings, Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta's rating for today. What we saying? Mikel Arteta, Tapas Pulis ball. What we saying? What we giving Mikel Arteta today? Because starting 11 was decent, giving the injuries. Scoring first 4 goals was amazing. The way we played, we didn't give them any chances, was great. I'm not gonna lie. The way we conceded, he couldn't do much about it, let's be real, because he said himself that he needs to somehow get out of the players' minds that they need to sit back while it's 3-4 nothing just to secure the win. Let's just assume that's true, let's just say that way. Halftime he made sub for Kivior. He put on Zinchenko, Sterling, Jesus. Vanjeri came on quite late. The thing is though, one thing I am gonna say, Mikel Arteta is very, very stubborn with substitutions. Because unless it's an injury or something major happens, he never makes substitutions before 65th minute. Never does that. And that is something that pisses me off all the time. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see more substitutions a bit earlier. Change the game and everything. Because he made subs as soon as Gabriel was injured, Calafiori was injured, bang, Kivior, Zinchenko comes on. Besides that, he waits till 65th, 70th minute to make substitutions. It's the same thing like what Arsene Wenger did. He makes substitutions around 65th, 70th minute. And that is something that's bothering me still. So, coach gives Mikel 8, Nathan gives 6.5. I'm gonna give Mikel Arteta, I think 7.5. I'm gonna give him 7.5. Could have been a bit better if we didn't. Well, obviously it's not about him always, but couldn't in certain situations, maybe some passing and everything. I am giving him 7.5 for Mikel Arteta. I think that's fair. Genuinely, I think that's fair. We were like prime Barcelona we were fantastic in the first half up until we started to concede goals, and until like 35th, 40th minute, until we started to concede goals, until we'll set back a bit. We were fantastic. We need to get out of our systems to sit back. Genuinely, we need to get it out because we are a team that is made for attacking, and as soon as we sit back, it's more dangerous for us than for them, and we are more vulnerable sitting back than actually pushing quite a bit people forward. As wild as it sounds, it's more danger for us when we defend than when we attack. It sounds very opposite, but it's the truth about Arsenal at the moment. Nathan is drunk. Done. Vanjeri should have come on in the 50th minute for Jorginho, but Rice back in. Could have tried that. Definitely could have tried that 100%. I wouldn't be against that test as well. Should have been 8-0, walk in the park. Vanjeri should have come on to protect Odegaard, but come on to play. To be honest, when West Ham players started to basically break our players' legs in about 60th, 65th minute with Odegaard for Saka, I wanted instantly at that moment around 60th minute, Odegaard off, Saka off. They have just come back from injuries pretty much. Put in Vanjeri, put in Sterling or Jesus or someone. Just put them out of the game. Because it's 5-2. They don't look like they're going to score. It's not like they're going to change the game or anything. Just keep our best players safe. That was my thought process at the time. And unfortunately it didn't happen. It happened a bit too late. Luckily we avoided some injuries. But still, Gabriel is under the question marks now. Calafiori with his groin as well is under the question marks, so we don't know, do we? 5 goals, 8... What? 5 goals, 8... What? 5 goals in 40 minutes. It should have been 8-0. We shouldn't have conceded. We should have pushed... Exactly, we should have pushed it for a bit more. We should have killed the game fully by the first half. But we scored 4 goals, then we sat back, we conceded 2, it was 4-2, and then we got another penalty. So this cannot fly like that. Because on another day, if this team, when we play not against West Ham, but we play against even good city side, Liverpool, even if it's Champions League, as I said, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, teams like that. If we from 4-0 they make 4-2, it's gonna be over for us. Because those teams, if they smell blood, they're gonna eat you alive. And Arsenal are not good in this. We were cooking them, couldn't pass. Gabriel and Saliba were small, how they concede. Rashford scored. Yeah, that's the thing. We were cooking them. Until that one instance when Calafiori falls asleep, Trossard has to track one, Bissaka, bang, 4-1. Then Taylor gives away a foul, which technically also could not be a foul, bang, 4-2. And then it was again rough situations until we scored and got another penalty. These Prem refs are a joke, of course. If a team is getting bopper at home, they will try to take players out, and yeah, that is also the case. He wasn't controlling the game in some instances. We don't fly anymore. Why I had the crowd, but they don't sing it anymore. That's a worry. Wish I could attend the game, dude. I don't want this song sang until we win something, because it's all fun and games when you do it, when you sing it, but until you win it, it's a bit of a meme, isn't it? We get still laughed at about that song just because we have a banner in the stadium that says that he's the best looking Spaniard we know, and stuff like that. We, by the way, have Josh Kroenke tifo or a picture outside the Emirates, near Emirates. Josh Kroenke picture outside the Emirates, full blown, like size of a house and crap like that. That's even more embarrassing. Juve, my Italian team, we are poor. Yeah, the Juve are not struggling as much. Motte is doing a great job, but the fall off was inevitable, and they are falling off a bit, haven't they? Calafiori needs to go back to left back. We need to start Tierney. Him and Tomiyasu needs back. I don't think Tommy Cafu, not Tommy Cafu. What has his name? How did we call him in the chat on WhatsApp? There was a name. No cough. Tommy No Cough. Yeah, Tommy No Cough or something like that. He is done at Arsenal, I think, as well. Calafiori needs to go back to left-sided center back, and we need to start Tierney. Invert from the right or whatever, just don't play. I think that Calafiori at left back is more nuisance than help for Arsenal in general. Because whenever he's played at left back, quite a few instances opposing side has targeted that left side, and quite a bit of issues have come from there. We conceded from that side today, we conceded from that side before, and it's not a great look long term in my opinion. Dude, we don't talk about that. Calafiori and Tomiyasu should go back to center back. They're not cutting it for left backs and fullbacks. Zinchenko should go in the midfield where he plays for Ukraine as well. He's not a good left back because left back needs to know how to defend, and he cannot defend. Calafiori and Kivior at center back in the cups, but when it's card to Ben White with Timber fall. Yeah, that is the case. And to be honest, I have some stuff prepared for today. We're gonna talk about it mostly tomorrow, but here is the case. This summer, Arsenal will be looking to permanently sell Lokonga and Reece Nelson. Tavares loan move is also expected to be made permanent. And Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, and Kivior could all also exit. This is all according to The Athletic. This is something from tomorrow. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players already we are getting rid of. And here is more. Again about summer. It kind of looks like in January we are not doing... No. Don't even. Lokonga has not been sold. Lokonga is on loan at Sevilla with option to buy. Not obligation, with option. Tavares at Lazio is with obligation to buy, which is going to happen by looks of things. Lokonga is with option to buy, and to complete that option you need to do some certain objectives and everything. And so far the way he's playing, I wouldn't put too much money on it unless he turns it around. Let's just put it that way. Tierney at left back, for center backs Calfori, Gabriel Saliba and Tomiyasu, Timber and everything. I think we can rebuild the team for 100 million net if we sell out. Yeah, that's the thing. If Kroenkes give us 150, 200 million and we sell all the deadwood and we actually buy the proper players, we can easily rebuild the team. That is the case. We need to sell about 6-7 players. We need to buy about 10 players. That is true. But we need to buy about 2 starting players and the rest of them can be from the bench. Plus, if you include Vanieri, Skelly, maybe Aiden Heaven and stuff like that, it will be much easier. Plus, from loan, if you pull back some players, it is very interesting. By the way, in summer, next summer, again, no, all the summer talk, no January talk, which is very worrying at the moment. While their rebuild could cope with potential additional of a striker, the club are particularly open to a player who can compete with Bukayo Saka. There's also interest in a left wing upgrade. Shocking display of things, innit? And here we go. And a move for a new forward could see Arsenal part ways with Gabriel Jesus. Zinchenko is another woes. His contract expires on 6 as yet. There is no news on potential extension. There are quite a bit of issues going on at Arsenal. They are things, but we're gonna talk about all those articles and stuff like that more tomorrow. Today it's all about Arsenal beating West Ham 2-5. We're gonna talk about that. Jesus just needs to learn Arabic and Joga Finito to Saudi Arabia, and that's it. Skeptical about Wharton's journey. He had a growing procedure, and if you are ready. Dude, based on how the transfer rumors are coming out at the moment with 1 month to go till January, and it's all being talked about, the fact that it's all summer stuff, I am scared for January in general. I'm not gonna lie. He can't finish in the box. He can't finish in general. Dude, it's nuts. Our subs are genuinely, our bench is like the park bench you see in the central of the park, which is rusted. All the wood on it is wet, and as soon as you touch it, it breaks in half. That is our bench. And every summer we take a new brush of paint. We just put a new coat of paint on it. Because we just try to do it. We sign a new player, somewhat mediocre. We just put a new layer on it. And we thought it's all cool. Nobody will notice the difference. But as soon as someone sits on it, aka someone uses him in the game, it breaks again in half. Exactly. Another news, war is wet. We don't do anything else. Arsenal are the only team to need a striker and buy Wharton mid-terrible. Dude, that's the thing. We can debate over this all we want, but the fact is Arsenal need a backup for Saka, we need a striker, we need a backup for Odegaard, we need at least one midfielder is a number 6 or 8, at least one, if not even 2. We need a left back, we need a goalkeeper, by the way, next summer, because let's be real, Neto is only on loan and he's cup tied as well, by the way. We only have Raya, by the way. So we need about 7 or to 10 players in general, if we are looking at it that way. We need to host a yard sale and sell half the stuff, and we need to we need to go buy at least about 7 players as well. Obviously, it's never gonna happen because Arsenal don't operate like that, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. Or maybe I will be in a better mood tomorrow. We did win. We did today, after all, of course. Harmanson, Leicester goalkeeper, is actually a really good shot stopper. Not sure Arteta will go for him though. We have to wait and see. But it's only in January, in summer as well. We will live with Neto till now. We did this years ago, buying bloody Luiz when we needed them. We did that all the time. We needed replacement for Sol Campbell, but while we found a replacement for Sol Campbell, we had good midfield and the attack. We got a replacement for Sol Campbell. Then the issue was the attack. When we fixed the attack, our issue was the midfield. Once we fixed the midfield, our issue again was the defense. And it's all like this with Arsenal. We fix one side of the pitch, another side of the pitch is broken down. Once we fix that, another side breaks down. And there's only three things to fix: midfield, attack, and defense. And all the bloody time, as soon as we fix one, another one is broken. And it's all the time, ring around the rosy, and it's a never-ending story. Put me in charge and I will deliver the quadruple. Yeah, of course, definitely. Mikel Arteta will eat you alive there. What's your thoughts on... Who's that? Colcini. You would think Colocini? Or Koscielny? Or... I don't even know what's this. You think Koscielny? Lauren Koscielny? Or you... what? I'm just... Because that could be Kolasinac, maybe misspelled. I don't even know. It's kind of confusing, I'm not gonna lie. Too many calls at Arsenal. Kolo-Toure? Koscielny, okay. Lauren Koscielny. Laurent Koscielny. Decent player, but I would say for Arsenal standard, average. He had many mistakes in him, and many times he was the reason why it cost us something. Arsenal had always this issue when we kinda relied on Koscielny when he was brought in as the next big thing, but he never lived up to the hype, and he was a hit and miss because he was sometimes the sole reason why we conceded a goal if he didn't even score an own goal. He was very average in overall throughout the career. Yes, he won some trophies and everything, but overall he was bang average in my opinion. Was the first bad captain before Joga threw down then. We have had many bad coaches at Arsenal, not gonna lie, many bad not coaches, no, captains at Arsenal, many of those, not gonna lie. But I guess it is what it is. But anyways, guys, I think on that note, we gonna end it here. So thank you guys so much for being here. Arsenal won 5-2 against West Ham. Like the thing, of course, if you still haven't subscribed, hit that bell. See you all tomorrow for some transfer talk. We're gonna look at some things. I already have prepared the stuff we're gonna talk about. Even more there will be tomorrow. So for now, take care, stay safe, enjoy the evening, prepare yourselves tomorrow for Liverpool versus City as well. Have a nice evening. You have been fantastic. Thank you for checking. Big up Coach, big up Marlon, Nathan. Big up everyone who joined, who liked, who subscribed and all that stuff. Take care, stay safe, and see you all tomorrow. Big up everyone.